right, everybody. Welcome back to the fourth episode of Life After Lights. I am your host, Tyler Greer, and this is our special guest today, Chad Rhoades. Chad, welcome to the show, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, Tyler. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, hey, thanks, man. We appreciate you having you on here and talking about your career, buddy. We appreciate it very much so. So we're going to get right into it, man. First question we're going to ask you is, how long did you play for? Tell us about your high school, college, and pro background and career.
I am 39 now. Let's see. I did retire, stopped playing when I was 30. So probably picked up a baseball when I was 8 or 9. I'd say I played for about 20 years. Still involved in baseball. I coached predominantly after that. But high school, went to Bowie High School, small town, North Texas. In between Wichita Falls and Dallas area, for anybody who's kind of familiar with that. But it's a very small town, kind of out in the sticks. And from there, which I played against, another pitcher that he got drafted in the third round. His name's Chad Rhoades. He was kind of at a rival high school. That was how I got a little bit of some scouts to come watch a game. We had a game against each other, and there was some junior college scouts there, and I didn't know a whole lot about the whole process. But a junior college scout in Grayson County asked me if I wanted to, take a small scholarship and go play there. I was going to be, they're going to let me play two ways. I'm going to play short and pitch. And I was like, cool, yeah, sign me up. Boom, going to college, playing baseball in college. So I went to Grayson right after I graduated, and I had a blast there. It was a very tough school. I didn't know anything about college baseball as far as everybody wanted to play Division I. I think it's the same way. Everybody wanted to go to UT or Texas Tech or A&M or whatever. For me, it was the Big 12 at the time of what was the Big 12. It's crazy now looking at it, but since that didn't happen, it was kind of like that was almost like a pipe dream, I guess, at an early age. Like, hey, I'm going to go to Division I. And if you don't go to Division I, then what? It's kind of like, well, nobody knows. It's like, well, I guess I know now. I went to junior college. You could still play other than Division I. But I went to junior college. It was very tough. I think we had 9 guys on that my first year get drafted on that squad. We got beat out to go to the World Series. I actually gave up a walk-off for that. That wasn't a good feeling, but it was a good experience as far as being able to have the ball on the mound in that situation. Like, I understood that I was still, kind of pursuing that I was good, that I could still compete at that level, that I was still had the ball in my hand, like I was willing to be trusted. So that kind of propelled me to kind of push myself the next year to only get better. Ending a season on, the guy who gives up the walk-off to get knocked out of the playoffs, it kind of puts things into like summer ball. That summer was intense. I was really locked in, trying to get better for the next year. And that kind of started the gears turning on, like, okay, I can be good at this. I am good at this. What do I need to do to get better? I didn't have access to everything they have access to now. It might have made things a little bit different, but I think that, for what I had, for where I came from, the way that my mind started working towards playing professional baseball was it started there. It did start in junior college. My second year going back to junior college, in the fall, I had 2 bulging discs in my low back. It was a reoccurring injury. I had it in junior high school. I had to sit out. And so I was out again for, I think, 3 months, rehabbing my back, got the disc shaved down. Is kind of the way I use my body violently, and my delivery, like, it's just the impact over time. It was inevitable that something was going to happen there. And so it kind of added up on me. I sat out most of that year, most of that spring. Now, it came down to, I think, midway through March, and the playoffs were about to start, and they asked me how good I was as far as how close to being ready, because they needed another arm. And I was about a week away from, okay, I'm gonna get back on the field. I'm going to use my whole second year of eligibility
just to pitch the last couple of weeks of the season to go into playoffs, which in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, it kind of perturbs me a little bit. But what happened was I said, yes, I was going to come back in a week. And then I got bit by a brown recluse on my leg. I got 3 little spots, and I woke up one morning. It was in the dorm, and I had to take myself to the hospital. Like looked like I had golf balls underneath my skin in my leg. Didn't know what it was. Didn't know what happened. Come to find out, I was bit by a brown recluse in my sleep. And if I would have waited much longer, something bad could have happened. So I had to get those drained out. It was nasty, bad experience. And anyway, I couldn't walk for 2 weeks on it. I was on crutches. So that kind of shut down that season in general. So I didn't want to go back to junior college for 3 years. I had finished, the school, the associate's degree. I didn't want to go back. I wasn't trying to go and really sign, and by going to junior college for 3 years didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where else to go, because after being hurt, the colleges stopped looking because I wasn't on the roster and I wasn't playing. So I had to find my own place to play, and lo and behold, some doors open, and a school I never heard of, Oklahoma Baptist, showed some interest. They saw some summer ball games, and I ended up getting a really good scholarship to go to Oklahoma Baptist, a blessing in disguise. And I finished out my college career there. Had some scouts watch some games. It was a tough senior season. We were very short on arms. I threw a lot. I think I threw 95 innings or so, but I was throwing CGs out of the gate. It was good for me. Like halfway through the season, I led all of college in like the pitching stats. It was nuts. And then about halfway through is when I'm like, it starts adding up on you, and then ended up having a immortal human season by the time it was all said and done. But I did put up some numbers, and I think I flashed some guns. And so the Red Sox asked if I would sign as a free agent for the draft. And in my head, I was like, I was never looking for the draft. I didn't care about any of that stuff. Like it wasn't, who cares? I just want to compete. I want to keep playing. Professional team wanted to ask me to come play, sign me up, give me my hamburger, and let's go, man. And so they did. It was right after season and sent me down to rookie ball, and I jumped right in. I think I got my feet wet with like 10 days in rookie ball, and it was the same to me. I was like, what am I doing down here type of thing. And they sent me to Loway in Greenville my first year, and that's when I really had to learn, like, okay, even playing field talent is starting to plateau out a little bit. What starts to separate others? I had to figure out the game. I was always good enough to get by with my stuff. I didn't know how to pitch, but I was with the Red Sox for 5 years, and in 2010, I got released from dropped from big league camp. Didn't want to wait around for, they asked me if I wanted to wait around and stay in extended, or take my release and go play somewhere else. And obviously I took my release, and I went to independent ball. I had a couple options to go be a starter in the American Association or go be a closer in the Atlantic League. And I made a bad decision there. And I wanted to be a starter because I've never got to start in minor league ball, and I want to be a starter and show how good I am. So I chose that path in Fargo, and 2 months into the season, I was starting games and I was closing in between my starts, and that added up to Tommy John 2 months later. It was pretty good formula to get it. And so I had that. Tried to make a comeback after doing rehab on my own. I did rehab at a retirement facility with this guy that I was driving an hour and a half back and forth to every single day, and playing catch with guys who've only played like softball. I broke a thumb playing catch, trying to get back into doing my rehab. But that sent me on a journey of self-awareness and kind of a love for just really, I got to look at my career. That was kind of what we'll talk about here. And I got to see, it wasn't regrets, but I got to see all the mistakes I made, and I was able to see how to help others overcome those. So I tried to make a comeback. I got married at the same time, but playing was out of the cards, and I didn't really recognize it at the time. Coaching was my calling. So I spent another year and a half trying to come back and play, really spinning my wheels, wasting my time. But I did get some valuable lessons out of that. I don't regret that. But that's kind of my playing career in a gist.
Cool, man. The next question we're going to go into here, Chad, are the highs and lows of your career and why to both of them.
Oh, well, you didn't have to cut that last one, huh? Because highs and lows. It's going to be the same. But there really no highs and lows. I think I kind of hit on those as far as, to me, the overall experience, man. The highs were, I mean, getting to play in front of a lot of people and then having little kids want you to sign a baseball. I mean, that's a pretty awesome experience in itself. That doesn't just happen just walking down the street.
No, not really.
To most people. The lows, I don't know. I like the bus trips. I like the long broke down bus trips. I like the bad hotel rooms. I liked everything about that lifestyle. I think the low, it wouldn't be losing. I mean, I hate losing, but it's not a low. That's just part of the nature. Somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose. Maybe we'll get into that. You'll tell me what the low was by the time we're done. I enjoyed my playing career thoroughly.
I'll dig. I'm thinking the low right now. I think Tommy John might have the leg up on the low right now. So
yeah, that kind of ended it.
So I'm just thinking right now. We'll see what else I can dig into here. So when you were playing sports, how did it mold you into the person you are today, and what lessons did you learn along the way?
Lessons, work ethic, discipline is going to be at the top. It was one of those things. I was undersized, I guess you could say, growing up. 5'9", 5'10", ish on a good day. 175, 180, and so I competed just a little bit lighter than that. So I was undersized. That in itself in sports gave me the extra chip on my shoulder that I needed to actually, keep pushing on. Baseball is a little bit different as far as people say, like skill sport. It takes some work and it takes discipline to keep your priorities and your focus like in tune. You have to create a routine, and your routine has to create the right type of habits. And if you build that up and you do that consecutively and you do that over time, then there's no way that you can't be good. I figured out how to build a routine to be able to continually push myself past the point of what everybody else would do. It's kind of like I knew that if I just had to outwork the people that I'm around, then I'm going to be the one who's going to excel and keep moving on to the next level. And it was. I found out it was that way when I was little. And it happened through sports. It's like they want to slow down. They want to cut corners. And it's like, why? No, I'm going to do it the right way, and I'm going to do it more than you. And it was kind of that mindset, and that bred the competitiveness for me going through sports. But the other thing was competing. I think I'll get in that, and I'll hit on that a lot. Was what sports offers is competition. Like, you get to go head to head, you get to test yourself, but it's not. To me, it's not. You're not testing yourself against another person. Like you're competing against, how good you can be. So it's like one of the things that I tell my pitchers is you have to compete against yourself, and you have to conquer yourself before you can really truly compete against other athletes. Because if you don't know what you're good at, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to control your emotions and yourself, then you're not any good out there on the field, man. Trust me, I've been there. I was that guy. So it's learning that. I think that was one of the biggest things that it taught me. Discipline is really kind of, and work ethic go hand in hand as far as that routine. Routine takes discipline to do.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
That's hard work. I think a lot of people get hard work. Hard work will get you somewhere, but you can work hard at doing the wrong thing, and you're gonna get the goal that you wanted to get to. So I figured out it wasn't about hard work. It was about ideas, refining, becoming more sophisticated at what you do. As far as baseball, that's what is it that you spend your time thinking about? When you're playing catch, what are you thinking about? When you're working out, what are you thinking about? Like, do you have is there anything else? Like, you take two different guys. Take two guys, and they're gonna go do. They're the same size. They're the same type of athlete. They're going to go to the gym. They're going to do the same exact workout, same reps, same set, same weight, same everything. One guy's going in there mad because he doesn't want to work out, but he does it anyway. He's thinking about his girlfriend, what he's going to eat after, his clothes. He's checking out his hair in the mirror, whatever. The other guy goes in there simply to do his reps and think about how they're making him better in his sport, what he's doing. Is it more explosive? Whatever it is, he's putting focus into how he's getting better in that workout. Both guys did the same exact workout. Which guy got better?
Exactly.
Is kind of mine. And so it hit me there. It's like, okay, I'm doing the same work as these guys. My focus is completely on another level than theirs. So we can do the same work, but I'm gonna get some fruit out of that. I'm actually putting something down. So that was. That's probably the big lesson that sports taught me, was continuing to push yourself. And it's all up to you. Set your own goals. You set your own milestones. You get to be the judge of how well your progress is going. And to me, if you get stuck, it's because you need to look in a different direction.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. People don't understand, or maybe they underestimate the mental focus you need to have on every specific thing that you do. It starts from your stretching, you're working out, like you were saying, you're throwing the baseball, you're swinging the bat if you're a hitter, to the pitcher, it's working on your mechanics, like what pitch you're going to throw in what situation, where you want to hit that spot, do you want to repeat that? There's the little things that you work on every single second of every single day. When you're on the field, it can make or break you. That's the difference between, a major leaguer and somebody who stays in AA. It's that simple. It's just like, another analogy I'll use is golf, right? The top 10 golfers in the world are not even one stroke away from each other.
Yeah.
But that, the 10th place guy compared to the first place guy, it's a huge significance in what the money you make. So again, it's just that little bit of a difference can make a difference between being 10th and being first. So yeah, just the mental focus and the reps and just being able to understand the purpose of why you're doing it makes the big difference, like you were saying. All right, Chad. Awesome, man. Thank you for that. Next question we're going to talk about is, do you miss playing the game at all? And do you have any long lasting friendships from playing baseball?
I don't miss playing the game. I miss competing on the field. Yes. Do I miss playing the game? I mean, no. I miss competing under the lights against another person. Yes, I miss that aspect with ferocity. I'll say that. It's not that I couldn't. Even now, I haven't played professionally in 8 years, but it doesn't mean that I don't feel like I can still in shape. It doesn't mean I don't feel like I can go out there and compete. It just means the way that I would want to compete, the way that I did when I was in shape, and with that mentality, I miss that, but I don't miss what it took to be able to do that. Friendships, man, it's really what I made throughout the game, and not necessarily players. There's guys that I talked to last week that I played with growing up. We played summer ball together when we were little. Our dads are friends. Who, kind of had the sleepover type of deal. But I think most of my friends, yes, most of my good friends I've met through baseball, and competition, some way or another. I think that's how all my friends are made.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then my next question is, going into this, do you have a favorite teammate of all time? And do you have any good stories that you'd like to tell?
I got a lot of good stories. I like to tell them. John Barnes.
And not really. I don't have any crazy story. It was my first year of professional baseball. John he was an amazing player. Knocked on the door of the big leagues multiple times. He was a AAA outfielder. Like, he was really, really, really good hitter. Never broke through, but he also had a really good knuckleball. And so when I got drafted, he was one of my first roommates, and he was like 34, 35, and I was 23 at the time. And so it was like, and he's a knuckleball pitcher, but he was like, his personality, like, he's so funny. He'd been around the game, like, but he was so genuine. A really, really great character, human being. He's the guy that I always remember. I had lots of guys, but he's the guy that if I was going to give a shout out to somebody, he's a great person. Yeah.
Awesome, man. All right, do you want to tell any good stories, or just tell a story about maybe like playing back in the day or something like that, or maybe like a prank you guys pulled on each other, anything like that? Or if not, it's no big, it's all good, man.
I mean, we've done the icy hot in the cup. We've done the guys' shoes on fire. Put Anbesol in their tobacco. That mouth numbing cream.
Hey, don't try this at home, kids. By the way, don't do this to your other teammates, okay?
I don't know, do it. But no, I mean, nothing crazy. We'll leave the stories. I think we'll get into other stuff as we get going.
Yeah. So we're gonna go into the next topic here. We're gonna talk about how you set yourself up for life after sports. So the first question is, while you were playing, did you think anything at all, do anything outside of baseball? Did you have a game plan for your life after the sport? Why or why not?
No game plan. It was in the off seasons, I would go back and I would work. My mom would make me work for my grandpa on the whole field. For most of my off seasons, or I'd be doing some type of manual labor. But no, in my head, I didn't. It wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and when this is done, I'm gonna fall right into this. I didn't have that. The reason being, I think that's the way I am with everything. It's like, I'm going to be full force, and I'm going to be in the moment, and I'm going to be where my feet are at. It's not for everybody, and I wouldn't recommend that, way to live long term. You obviously have to have balance there, but it's just, I like to be here. I like to be in the moment. I mean, that would be my number one thing for anybody, is to be able to be here. It helps you calm yourself and breathe and do all. Second part of that was,
did you have, like, so basically, you didn't really have a game plan once you were done playing baseball. Like, you didn't have like another profession, or like something that you had a burning desire to do after you're done playing?
I did not, and I knew that I was really close to my degree. As far as college. So that right there, I think, relieves a lot of guys' stress and pressure as far as a player. Having a degree, no matter what it's in, and no matter whether they're going to use it or not, they just want to know that you went and spent the money and spent the time, working towards something
Exactly.
after high school.
Yeah.
But I was really close to my degree, and I don't even use it, and I wouldn't use it if I had it, but at that time. But that kind of always was like in the back of my head, like, well, I got the degree to fall back on. I still didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I felt more comfortable having that than the international players, than the high school players, because I did have some conversations with those guys, that didn't have a clue what they wanted to do. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, but I was so close to finishing college that it was like, I can get away with it. That's the mindset that I had when I was playing, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why we do this show, to help people understand that there's more to do outside of sports than sports. So that's a perfect example. So my next question here for you, knowing what you know now, what have you done? What would you have done differently? And do you have any regrets with your playing time?
I would have done
everything different. I don't have any regrets. I don't regret anything. But if I could go back knowing what I know now, yeah, I would change a lot. I mean, go back to that last question, what we're talking about. It's not that I didn't want to set myself up. It was that I was so invested in what that I had at my fingertips that me spending time thinking about setting something up was going to detract from what I was doing in this moment.
Yep.
And it wasn't that it like I knew when I was in the minor leagues that I was not making any money, and I was playing baseball for a living. And I thrived there. I loved it. Like it was like, how cheap can I eat this week? You know, and off seasons, like where can I find a place to stay with somebody on his, you know, in the basement or on the couch to work out and to be able to go give some lessons to pay for working out and just to survive until next season starts. That way I know that I get my meals covered. I get a little bit of spending money for gas and I get free housing. Like, but see, I wasn't doing it to get rich. That wasn't my end goal. It was like, I want to do this as long as I can because I want to compete against the best in the world. That was it. It wasn't money. So my priorities stunted my growth and probably stunted my career, which, like I said, I go back, I would change a lot of things. Absolutely. I don't have any regrets on how I did it. No.
Awesome. So now this next question is, after your last game, you know, how did it feel? And also, did you know when you were playing your last game that was going to be your last game?
I did not. It wasn't an injury. It was more of a mental type of thing. I got married previous to going into my last season. Mm-hmm. And so I was going to be away from my wife. She's going to be back in Texas. I was playing in Gary, Indiana at the time, near Chicago. And so I was playing, had some teams calling, like, look, you pitch healthy, you show that you're healthy, then we got a spot that opens up at a higher level, then we'll pick you up. Cool. So Dennis was the one who actually helped me set up this opportunity to go play in Gary. That's how we first met. Okay. And so he saw me, worked out all off season, went up there for season, felt really good going into it. And then some stuff back home with family kind of came up that needed to be addressed. As far everything is okay now, but it needed to be addressed, and it kind of took away my priority. Like it changed a little bit and shifted. And so on the field, it was really like I was competing, but it was a shell. You know, it was a shell of what I was supposed to be because my mind and my heart were somewhere else.
Yeah, you were there, but you weren't.
I wasn't there. And so it wasn't meant to be. And it was hard. You go look at my numbers. If you look at my numbers in that last year, and people look at my numbers and they're like, what happened? Like, were you like throwing the ball underhanded, soft toss? And I look at the numbers and I'm like, that's hard to do. It's hard to try and do that. Give up. I think I had I don't know. I'm going to be embellishing. It's like 4 innings, 16 hits, 16 runs. I don't know. It's something crazy. My ERA is like in the 20s. But anyway, I was still throwing 93, 95 during this time with a wipeout split. And I was getting barreled because I couldn't do anything really except it was strange. I was almost like a participant watching this unfold because I think I only pitched maybe 3 weeks in that season, and before I told my manager, I'm like, look, you expected things out of myself. I expected things out of myself. I was like, but there's bigger priorities and there's more important things going on that I had to take care of back home, and so got those things taken care of and everything's okay. And like I said, I wouldn't change anything. That led me to be a better coach. It sucked. It was a bad way to end it. And I remember that game. We were playing Kansas City. And we were at home in Gary, and I can remember being on the mound and I remember this outing. I think I gave up, it was 4 doubles in an inning in the third. I didn't get out of my inning, my second inning, but
it was like I was taking shots. Like every double in the gap I was on the battlefield. It was like a blow. I remember it. It was very visceral. When I was walking up to the clubhouse. After my outing, I walked up to the clubhouse, sat in my locker, and I was sitting there. I was like, "Oh man!" I felt like I just got carried up to the clubhouse and laid down on the ground. It was like that. But that was my last one. I didn't know, and it was. I didn't know it was going to be that, and when it did, it was one of those things. I wasn't okay with it.
Yeah.
But it led to better things. That's what I'll say. So it's like as soon as one door closes, something else opens.
Yep.
I looked for it, and that was the thing. It was like, okay, this. Like everything and everybody knows how much I put into this. So in baseball, and so if that door is going to get closed, then something else is going to open up. And so I was smart enough, and my wife's a lot smarter than me to be able to keep my eyes focused on a bigger picture and a bigger priority. And it led to everything of where we're at now and what I'm doing now. But that moment, I didn't know it was going to be my last day. But it was a very pivotal.
It's almost like you read my questions in order, but I was just about to ask you, what are you doing now? But no, we're gonna shift into the third topic. It's called Life After Lights, which is the title of the show. So now I'm gonna ask you a very nice question here. Is what are you doing now that you are completely done and out of playing baseball?
I'm completely done. And this year, I can say right now, I'm living in Lisbon, Portugal. I'm just chilling. I'm chilling this year. This is my first year off the field in over 30 years, probably. I mean, we talked about earlier. My playing career was 20. I mean, right after I was done playing, I did. I was a personal trainer. It was one of those things where I got reliant upon myself. What can I do? What are my skills? It wasn't that it was something that me and my wife are kind of both this way. Is like we want to be able to create our own lives, and we know that we have the means within ourselves to be able to make the right decisions, and we're smart enough and we know enough about our own topics that we can use those to pursue a means of a living. And so she works interior design remotely, and I do pitching lessons and do consulting. I wrote a book. A throwing program book, and actually the book will not be on Amazon anymore. It was on Amazon for about 2 months. A company approached me and I sold my book. So now they absolved my book. I'm kind of making some courses and classwork that we're going to launch in July. I'll have to update you back when we do hit those up.
Well, we'll have you on the show for a launch update, man.
We'll do it. It's going to be really cool, and we'll talk. I'll tell you what it is later. But yeah, creating throwing programs basically for everybody, an affordable option to be able to kind of spread to the masses, to give them info that's quality, that's coming from sources that have been to the highest level. So that's kind of that. So I'm still in baseball, and right now, I'm living overseas in Portugal. Very happy.
Very cool, man. Very cool. And so the next question is. Did you have any idea or expectations what your life would be like after you were done playing?
I think that the dream always after I was done playing was, I think every player is, I am going to hit the lottery as far as get to the big leagues. And it's not necessarily a lottery, but if I work the way I need to work and I keep my head on straight and follow my priorities, then I'll get there. And, right means, but it was like, okay, I see myself sitting on the beach, chilling, relaxing. I'm in my mid-30s, retired. And then because I don't think you have that that moment of clarity when you're an athlete that you're playing, like you have that thought and that goal, like it perpetuates this need to continue to get better and gotta get there. But you never have that realization of like, that's stupid. Like what? Like, okay, just go sit on the beach for 3 days
You're not doing anything. You're in your 30s. What are you going to do for the rest of your life? What else other ambitions do you have? How can you make the world a better place? How can you help others? How can you do what it is that you're naturally good at doing and influence people to be, influence their lives in a better way? And I think I got frustrated for a little bit myself. It was like, oh, what do I know? I just know how to throw a baseball, I know how to coach. I'm like, okay, well, do that. Do that in a way that benefits others and that you can still be happy. That's where I'm at.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Yeah. I can't wait to have your book come out. That's gonna be kind of cool. I'm kind of interested because like all the stuff you just said on it. So that'll be really cool to read. So hey, when it comes out, make sure you all get it. So and then the last question that I want to ask you is, after all the years of playing baseball, how is your body holding up?
Oh man, it takes work to keep up with the body. It really does. Like I said, I had the bulging disc in my L4, L5 and in my low back. I have to continually work out. I have to keep my core strong, or like I can feel it even when I hold up, my back gets tight. I mean, that's part of it. I had Tommy John, so I had that going on. It doesn't feel good. I can still throw, no problems there. But my legs are pretty beat up. I mean, it takes upkeep. And I say I'm about to be 40. You can ask me again in 10 years and then we'll really know. But no, it took a beating. Like people asked me when my career was over, especially after that 1 year, if I wanted to go back, because I was still young. As far as in your prime, I was going to turn 30. I was still very in shape. But they asked me that and I was like, man, I know what it takes to really be at peak performance. Like I know what it takes to actually push yourself to that limit. I didn't want to do it anymore. It takes a certain type of thing. It takes a certain type of person to be able to push yourself for your body to last an entire year to be able to push it as hard as you can.
Yep.
Didn't want to do it anymore. It's just that was it. So I feel good now, and I still push myself. I still work out, but not to the extent of what these professional athletes really do if they want to be good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. People, I don't know if people realize, but the professional athletes, when they work out, it's not just weightlifting, it's not just throwing, it's not just running, it's not just hitting, it's all that every day combined. So you're looking, I'm just going to use the baseball player example. You're looking at somebody who has a 7:00 baseball game, right? They're probably showing up around the park 11, 12 o'clock. Probably getting food in, gonna go work out, gonna run, gonna stretch, gonna jog, gonna throw, gonna hit, and then they're gonna, they're gonna do this again to make sure they're completely loose, completely ready, and then they're gonna go in the routine on that. So, I mean, people don't realize, you're doing 7-8 hours of stuff before the game, and the game happens, and then you're doing it all over again. So it's quite a cycle that people go through, day in and day out. I hope people realize the stuff that these guys do. But yeah, being an athlete and working out like that compared to, I say regular folks now, because I can put myself in that category now. The regular folks, like, we work out 2 hours a day and we're like sore for like a week, so it is what it is. You don't work out like you used to when you were an athlete. That's just the way it is. So
yeah.
But yeah. So anyways, I know exactly what you're talking about with that one. So yeah, you don't work out like you did as an athlete, and you don't have the metabolism you have as an athlete too as well. And you're burning, all these calories every day, so you can eat really almost, I don't want to say bad, but you can eat differently and still be okay. What?
Yeah, you could eat bad.
Yeah, you could.
I remember my first year when I was when I was in Greenville, I was like $170, 73-ish, and I started crushing. This place had these little chicken parm sandwiches. And I was crushing them. I mean, I was probably eating 2 or 3 a day, it felt like. And my metabolism did keep me down. I was probably into the season like 180. Yeah. But if I put it in that now, like,
yeah, good luck.
Chicken parm sandwiches for a month. Like it's 50 pounds.
That'll help you grow some weight for sure in the wrong places. So but yeah, but that's it. So all right, well, cool, man. Well, thank you, Chad, very much for your time. And that's the interview. So that's everything that we had to ask you. So thank you so much for sharing your life, your story with us. We really appreciate it. So Hey, everybody, please like and subscribe. This is the YouTube channel Life After Lights. Please help us grow. We are a new channel. We have phenomenal athletes like this, like Chad, who are sharing their stories. Please get this out to everybody you know. Please let us help out and improve somebody's life, and let us show that there is life after whatever they're doing, whatever sport they're playing. That we just want to have everybody get their story told, and that way they can see what there is to offer after their career is over. So, anyways, thank you so much, Chad, for your time. We appreciate it. Enjoy. You said, I'm sorry, Portugal, right?
In Portugal, yes.
Portugal, yes. Enjoy Portugal time. I think he's about to turn off the lights, literally, because it's almost his bedtime over there. So.
We got late dinners though.
Okay.
We don't eat dinner till like 8 o'clock, so yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on, Tyler.
Yeah, but thank you for your time, Chad. We appreciate it, man. So when your book comes out, or when it's all said and done, bro, we'll have you come on out and we'll do another launch for your book, and that way you can promote it and get it going this way too as well.
That sounds good.
All right, Chad. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out. I am Tyler Greer, your host. This is Chad Rhoades, my guest. I pointed the right way. All right, y'all have a great rest of your night. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.